So wanted to do a follow-up to my Bodyguard 2.0 Monsoon Tactical optic cut video. I had taken it out to the range, so wanted to do just a summary of that range session. My range is, neither range I belong to allows for video or really photography in any sort at the range. So you get me talking and my hands in the gun. Figure this is more interesting than me. Yeah, empty for the range Nazis or safety Nazis. So that's the optic cut with the Holosun 407K on it, mounted. Overall ran fine. First, like mag or two, I had a couple of light primer strikes with an ammo that I usually find very reliable, which is MagTech. MagTech in 9 and 380 for me has always been very, very reliable and run very well on all of my Smiths and Wessons. So, some reason I had one failure to feed and like 2 light primers, and then all within like the first 20 rounds, and then it ran fine for another 170 rounds. So, go figure. Just chalking it up to, the gun saying it missed me. So there you go. Anyway, so the goals. So back to the goals for getting this done. The primary goal was to go to a red dot. Red dot sights work better for my eyes. I don't need or care about a co-witness with the irons. I almost just told them to leave this front sight off. This is back to the original front sight. I probably should have, just because it is unnecessary, but it's there, but I won't use it. Two things with the sights. Number one, to have this pistol have a sight. Then the second part was to have a commonality between the 407 on the Bodyguard 2.0 and on my Shield Plus everyday carry. I carry the Shield Plus every day when it's permissible and allowed and legal, as well. And when I can, I will pocket carry this as well. So that was the intent. So was to get the optic on here and commonality with my EDC. Then, of course, the second bigger piece was, how do I demonstrate a measurable improvement on speed, meaning sights on target, from the draw, or at least from low ready. One of the ranges I belong to, you can draw from holster on the outdoor pistol range. The other one, you can't draw from a holster. The testing I've been doing with this has been from low ready, because that's where I've been. So, and then of course accuracy, quality of shots. I'm trying to avoid using terms like, well, I want to be faster. Well, what's faster? Try to get data points which demonstrate that. So that's the quick intro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and run the first 4 tests I did with this through, and share that on the screen. There are 4 tests which I had done, and that was with the Bodyguard prior to the Monsoon Tactical optic cut. So we'll run those through, and I'll pause the video, run those through, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so those 4 targets were from before I got the optic cut. They were with the iron sights. Of the 4, I only passed once. The test I'm using is called the test, oddly enough. It's 10 shots, under 10 seconds, at a distance of 10 yards, with a score of 90 or better. This is not really a 10-yard or further pistol, so I've been running the test at 7 yards, because it's also the distance at the shortest distance at my range. So you get 7 yards. So I ran that 4 times. I only passed on the second. I had a score of 94 out of 100 with 1 in the X-ring, and I had beat the par time at 9.87 seconds, which is just under par. So of 4 times, 1 pass. you know, from low ready with irons, for me, I expected that would be about what I'd get. That's about what I'd get with that. Um, the things that I realized when I did my second round of tests was that I should have taken more information, like you know, time to first shot. That would have been very demonstrative of, you know, of speed, you know, of getting onto the sight, getting the sights onto the target correctly for the first shot, and then controlling the next 9 shots. That would have been nice to have. And I also didn't know the ammunition I used, but that's what you get. So live and learn. So what I'm going to do is now run the 4 slides from the second round of testing. So the first round was in June. This round of testing was just done in a couple of nights ago in November. And this round of testing includes the red dot in this configuration here, which is what we were really interested in seeing the differences. So, all right, so I'm going to pause the video, run the 4 slides of those targets. Actually, I'm going to run 5 slides. The first slide will be when I zeroed this, and then I'll talk about the first slide, and then I'll talk about the final 4 for the test. So let's pause that, and we'll talk about it. All right, so those are the 5 slides. The first one was a grid with a bunch of holes in it. I had started at the center and then went counterclockwise from the top, and the bottom right was the one that I had finished with. I think all 10 shots were within the 2-inch ring. I think it was a 2-inch ring. That was at 7 yards, so a 0. When I'm really concentrating, I can practically put it through, you know, repeated through the on the bullseye. So good, yay. The last 4 were the last 4 tests, which I'd shot after a good amount of time shooting this, you know, running some rounds through it, just getting back to being comfortable with it. I've shot different kinds of ammo with it. In this session, I ran Blazer, CCI Blazer, MagTech. I ran about almost 100 rounds of defensive ammo too. And so in those 4 tests that I ran through prior to me talking right now, I did note several things that I wish I had done with the first testing. First, of course, was you know, time to first shot. So time to first shot, what kind of ammo I used. You'll see that I failed on a few targets, and you might do the math and say, gee, that doesn't look like a bad score. Why did you fail? Well, 2 of those targets only had 9 holes. So in the way I view this test for my purposes, in my metrics, if I don't get all 10 on the paper, it's a fail. You know, yeah, I got 9 out of the 10 on the paper, and the other 9 were really good, but that one shot wasn't there. Well, and it wasn't a double hole. None, you know, there weren't any double holes. You know, or looks like I might have gotten 2 and 1, but yeah, if you miss 1 out of the 10, it's a fail. So, in my book. So, of those 4 tests, I had 2 passes. One of which had the fastest first shot time, which was 1.68 seconds. That was from low ready to first shot. Yeah, I can do better than that. I know I can do better than that, but certainly from low ready, I should be doing better than that. But those 2 tests both also had passing scores of 755 and 773. So, yeah, those were pretty fast compared, and you know, fast meaning measured. I measured previous tests at 9.87 seconds. I'm passing now at 773, 755. That's about a little over a 2-second difference between irons and a red dot. So, yeah, did I meet a goal? Yeah, I met one goal. I am measurably faster with this. Score-wise, I had a 95 on one of those, and I had 91 on the other. So maybe my accuracy isn't any better per se, but certainly getting onto target, time to first shot under 2 seconds, and had 2 X's instead of 1 on one test. So accuracy wise, probably the jury's still out, but certainly from a speed, time to first shot, and overall test, certainly an improvement overall. So that is the goals that I had, and that's the testing I did. So what's next? So one thing that I want to talk about as well was what am I really striving for, and part of both the two goals of measurable improvement on speed and accuracy, but how do I measure that? And what I have here is a target which I usually use for this is a B8, which I usually use for the test, which is what's recommended. But what I've also done here is I've superimposed over it in pencil these the A zone boxes from a IPSC or USPSA target. I'm not a member of either of those orgs, but I know it's used as standards. So looking for a standard that I can work with. So for me, when I look at those targets, so A zone, this block here is the A zone in the head box of that target, of the USPSA target. And this actually is 11 inches by 6 inches, and that is the center chest A zone of a standard target. So the other thing I'm looking at is where am I at? If I am within the 6 inches of the torso, that's giving me a good indicator that I am within the A zone box. If I have all 10 on this page and they are within the 6 inches, and even better within this box, but getting a sense of if I can keep them in this in the black, then I know that I'm getting quality hits. Is this better? A bullet over here, right by the 9, is that better than the one at the X? Well, at the end of the day, probably won't matter if it's a defensive shooting. But in the head box, yeah, it would matter. If I'm at the 9, I'm missing. If I'm on the X, I'm hitting all the time. So that's something that's why I drew the lines on here, was just to give myself a perspective of if you're shooting at the USPSA target, this is your torso, this is your head box. So gives me an idea as to how are my groups grouping. So that's pretty much it for the testing I did. Final thoughts. This pistol cost about $425. The optic cut was $300, paid with my own money. The optic was $240, which is about the best price you're going to get on Amazon. So pistols $425. The cut and the optic was $540. Is this $540 upgrade worth it? Well, in my opinion, for me and the way I shoot and my skill set, which is still, I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur. I do a lot of practice. I was very rusty when I shot the second set of targets, but is a $540 upgrade worth the improved speed and accuracy? And for me personally, where this is a pocket carry, where I might be in an environment that, yeah, it's legal to carry, but it's not really something, it's a lot of people say non-permissive environments. I'm carrying legally, but I don't want to make it known, or I really want to minimize the chance of someone noticing that I have a firearm, whether it's pocket carry. I can carry this appendix. There's a Vetter holster I have for this, which is very good. It takes a little while to get out of that holster, but concealment wise. So for me, this $540 upgrade for the improvement I've seen only between testing in June and November, and which I know will probably do more testing and more practice. Yeah, that for me, that's worth it. For some people, they're going to say, no, I don't like the optic. I'm not going to do it. I want pocket carry. Okay, yeah, you do you. For me, the optic was important for my eyesight, and it does not significantly impact my ability to pocket carry it. I can pocket carry this, and I do pocket carry it when I'm allowed, when I'm able. So there you go. To quote the late great Paul Harrell, you be the judge. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I will probably follow up with a video talking more about holsters, ammo, my experience with this pistol, but I'm trying to keep this one at least a little short. So there you go. Thanks.